to our weekly coaching webinar. I'm really excited everybody could be here today. So I want to, before we jump in, I do want to make a mention to everybody that if you haven't logged into your finance suite recently, log in. Check out steps 3, 5, 6, and 7, and just look at all of the new sources that have been added. It's interesting because I logged in the other day, and every page has about 9 different sources I've never seen before, including 7 brand new vendor accounts that help people get started with building business credit. Not to mention that there's a lot of other new accounts that we've added as well. Things like Wawa and 7-Eleven and Pilot Flying J and all different kinds of source. Ryder for truck rentals, Quick Check, JCPenney, Meyer. Again, I'm right now looking at another 9 sources that I've never seen before here in round 2. And as we move into round 3 and round 4, even more sources. So we're going to be making a lot of updates, enhancements to the finance suite over the next 3 to 6 months. But one of the obvious ones is if you just log in, check out the steps. Again, just a quick look here. I've seen about 25 new sources I've never seen before. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that. Now, to the topic at hand, I'm really excited about today because about a year ago, I came to the realization that I'm like, look, a lot of our partners just don't know how to market and get the leads. This is the biggest question we get. How do I advertise? How do I market? How do I get leads? And so what we realized was the first thing we needed to do was automate as much of the marketing and sales process for you as we can. We rolled out our marketing automation platform months ago. Many of you are already familiar with that. If not, get with our support team so they can walk you through it. And what the marketing and automation platform basically does is it helps you from getting leads in initially and then automates the process, automates the sales funnel. When they take action, when they click on emails and engage, they get points. When they accrue so many points, they get sent to your sales team or you as an actual lead. So we automated that whole back end process, but it left this big gaping hole in the process in the very beginning, which is how do you get leads? Well, a year ago, I had a plan. And the plan now actually will end up being available to you as of today. And the plan is that I wanted to partner with a friend of mine that has generated, I don't know, he could probably tell you more than I would say thousands and thousands of leads for the credit space. He started on the consumer side. He's worked with our clients on the business side, and he follows many of the same tactics that we use and that have proven to be very successful to generate leads from mediums like places like Facebook, et cetera, which he'll go over with you. He actually is friends and works with even the people on our marketing team, sharing strategies and working closely together on the things he learns, he's teaching us, and the things we're learning, we're teaching him. So we've seen him progress as an individual, as a company, and I am really excited to be able to introduce him to you today. And we've worked together for months to create a couple different solutions. A solution where he's going to be able to give you the ability to get leads for you without you even doing the work. And if you want to learn how to do it and do the work on your own, well, he's got options for you there as well. So we're going to learn a lot today about branding. We're going to learn a lot today about marketing to tap into his strategies that have made him such an effective marketer. And then even though he's probably not going to want to, at the end, we're going to jump in and I want to talk a little bit more about the options that he's directly created for all of us to fill that one hole and now be able to get you the leads to plug into the automation and marketing platform to help make it easier than ever to be able to get leads. So I want to introduce to you my friend Keith Knapp. Keith and I go back a long ways, like 5-6 years ago. I think we started in the consumer credit business about the same time, became friends, have been friends for many, many years, have had more bellies of laughs than it should even be possible to have in a lifetime, and is a guy that I know and trust to the end. I mean, there's not as many people in this world that I trust as much as Keith, which is why I've worked with him so closely to design the solutions that we're going to be talking about today. So Keith, man, thank you so much for coming on with us today and taking the time to do it. I appreciate it.
Man, of course, Ty, anything for you. I love you, and I love the business credit space. It's such an exciting, fun thing to watch, and I just love seeing the progress and love seeing what everybody's doing out there.
Yeah, and I love you too, bro. And you've been with me from the beginning. I mean, so you guys know, Keith was one of the ones that enrolled the first 60, 90 days that we rolled this program out, I think back in 2012 or 13. I mean, it was that long ago. So he's watched us grow from from something that was okay to something that's really, really cool. So he's familiar with the finance suite at a level that many of you aren't even familiar, because he's been here from the very beginning. I would say probably one of the first 15 or 20 partners that we actually enrolled with. So I will sit back, man. Shut up. Hard for me to do, but I'm going to sit here and be quiet.
Well, that sounds good. So I'll pull you in so that you can talk and be engaged, because I know you like that. So hi, everybody. I'm Keith Knapp. I'm with CustomMarketer.com. Today, we're going to talk about the power of marketing your brand. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, because in marketing, there's a lot of different areas that you can go into. There's so many different channels, and there's so many different things that you can do that it becomes absolutely overwhelming if you don't have a good structure, if you don't have a good system in place. And so what I did is I created this presentation to speak to you, to help you put together a plan, to put together a strategy, and to give you some key tips inside of that that really makes sense for to accomplish your goals. So the title of this one is The Power of Marketing Your Brand, How to Target the Right Clients with the Right Message for Higher Conversions. So we're going to start with this. Build a brand that fits you. Now, one of the things that I've seen from countless businesses, because doing marketing, building websites, handling all that, we look at businesses every day. We probably go through 30, 40 different websites a day just to see what's happening, what people are doing, what's going on out there. And the thing that I find is the companies that really interact with their clients, the ones that build a presence, the ones that have a following and have people who are committed to them, focus on building a brand. And we're going to talk about what the brand is, and then where we're going to go from here is we're going to help you figure out what's the best place to market, how to market, deciding local marketing, nationwide marketing, online marketing, and then how to tie it all together and give you some action steps and some things that you can start doing right now to start to drive your sales and start to improve your lead generation. So when it comes to building a brand, we're going to start here, because this is probably my favorite part out of all of them. But when it comes to building a brand, there's a lot of misconception out there, because a lot of times people come to me and they say, hey, Keith, I want to build a brand, but I don't know where to start. And they always lean towards these big nationwide companies, these highly successful companies. And you look at Ty's website and you look at all the stuff Ty is doing. You're like, I want to be like Ty when I grow up. And I say, yeah, I agree. I want to be like Ty when I grow up too. But the thing is, with a brand is so unique to a company, because it embodies the owner's attitude, and it embodies the culture of who the owner is and the values that the owner has. So with talking about that, the reason this is important is simple. Nobody buys into a product. Nobody just looks up and goes, you know what? I love Charmin toilet paper. That's it. And they just stick to it. They buy into a brand, and they wrap themselves and they get engaged with the brand because it speaks to them and it connects with them, and it engages them not only on what they need, but it engages them on a personal level. And when you're speaking, and something about speaking about it, just it builds something inside of them that makes them want to take action. And what I see a lot of times is that people miss this important step of building a brand, because they're so focused on let's get leads, and let's generate business, that they're not paying attention to the little things and the fine details and the culture and what you're doing that helps to cultivate that process of building leads. So the first thing we're going to say is use your personality to build your brand. And a lot of people think this is contradictory, but this is actually one of the best things you can do. Whether you want to brand yourself personally and be the center point and have your picture all over the website and focus on that, or you want to brand a company name and you want to brand your just your logo and who you are and what you do. Either way is fine, but you still have to wrap your business around your personality. And I'll get into it here in a little bit, but the first thing it comes down to is understanding what type of person are you. Now, when I say what type of person are you, I'm not looking for. We're gonna be looking at what drives you in business. What is it that you wake up in the morning and you go, man, I can't wait to what? And that's what you start building your brand off of. So what drives you? Are you driven by sales? Do you love the fact that you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to jump on the phone, you're going to start closing people, you're going to talk to them, you're going to tell them about what you do, tell them about your products, and you want to get them to that point and then hand them off and move on? Or are you a support person that wants to sit down and have coffee with somebody and understand their needs, understand their goals, and walk with them through every step of the process and be there and hold on to them? And the last one that I find all the time is a product expert. And I'll be honest, the product expert is where I like to, that's what I'm passionate about. I'm always passionate about my products, understanding it, the ins and outs, ups and downs, how it works, why it works. And a product expert, somebody who just dives in. You would be diving into the programs, the financing options that you have, and you start to show your expertise. You're more labeled as the go-to, not because you close deals, not because you take care of people, but because you have so much knowledge in how it works and what you need to do. So really, those are the three major areas that you find when you're building out the personality of your brand. Are you sales driven? Are you support driven? Or are you product driven? And the reason that I like these, and here's some of the beauty of it. So when you look at this, these really define how your business is going to function and operate, because a sales-driven company is going to be a very tight process. They get people in, they know how to convert them, they know how to get them to closing, and then sometimes they don't have the best back-end processes, and they're really good at closing the deal, but they need a strong support team behind them to make it work. But a sales-driven company, you're not going to go out and brand saying, hey, we're going to take care of you throughout the whole process. You go out and you say, hey, getting started's never been easier. Getting financing for your business has never been easier. Getting credit, and you make it easy. You make it where they're expecting to come in, have a quick conversion, and move on. The thing that works with that is you're going to attract people who are looking for that. The people who, I don't care how you get it done, just tell me when the money is there, tell me when my credit score is high enough, and they want you to just get in, get it done, and get it handled. The support-driven person is going to focus not as much on sales side, and a lot of this goes to content strategy. It goes to the feel of your website. It goes to even what you're saying in your ads and how you're communicating. But the support-driven person is going to look at it and go, look, we're going to walk with you through the process. We're going to be here the entire time. We're going to engage you. We're going to understand your needs. We're going to help you create a plan. We're going to help you create a system. And they build on that relationship. And so the content's going to be a little bit different. Product experts really just out there flexing, going, look, I know more about all this than any of you guys, and you need to listen. And this is how it works. This is how it's going to go. The product expert is more of this is my way. This is how things get done. Why? Because I know how it works, and my way is the best way. The reason this is so important is, as you can see in the next bullet point, when you define the personality of your brand, you create the right expectation for your audience. Because the one thing you don't want to have happen is you don't want to have a sales-driven person that's answering the call on a support-driven campaign. So what I mean by that is, if you're driving a campaign that says, hey, do you need somebody who can be with you through and understand your business credit in and out and be a resource for you at all times, that's a support-driven attitude. They're going to get on the phone with a sales-driven person, and the sales pitch is going to sound more like, hey, let's get you started today. It's quick, it's easy, it's fast. We'll take care of all of it. You just go on. It provides a massive disconnect between the message that you're marketing with and what you're actually saying on the phone. So define your sales process, and this, the next part of it is defining your sales process with it, because your sales process is going to determine your brand. Are you going to be automated? Are you going to focus on automation? Are you going to be hands-on? Are you the type of person that doesn't mind spending hours on the phone with somebody, understanding them and sitting down with them face to face? Or are you the type of person that says, hey, let's get you in and let's let the system take care of it? But the biggest part is you've got to build a brand that fits you. And the question I always get is, hey, what's the best one? The best one depends on your personality. and that's it. Because when you try to, if I tried to build Credit Suite for myself, it wouldn't work. Ty is wired different than I am. Your business is going to be wired different than anything that I would do. My business is going to be wired different than what yours would do. But understanding that and developing your systems and developing your brand around that is where the power comes in. So talking about a brand, so let's move to the next one. So the next thing you want to do after you're looking at building a brand that fits you, you want to pick your marketplace. Now, I'm going to let on to some secrets and some things here in a little bit that I think you're going to find really. Some may find it entertaining. Some may understand some massive changes that are going on, but picking a marketplace and picking how you want to market your business is one of the biggest things, because right now I can't even tell you, I probably get 4 or 5 calls a day of, hey, I need to do online marketing. I need to do online marketing. I need to do online marketing. And I talk to these people and they don't even have a Facebook account, and they're sitting here saying they want to do online marketing, but they're killing it in the local market. And they've got that very energetic, outgoing personality that's just bigger than life, or, you know, they're good at connecting with people out in the local marketplace. And so one of the things to understand is when you're trying to figure out, how do I build my business? How do I define my brand? What do I need to do? You need to figure out what kind of person you are. You need to take the strengths of what you do and build on those strengths. I had a great quote and it just slipped my mind, so if it comes back, we'll use it later. But one of the things that I find is when you define your services, you need to figure out, are you the type of person who wants to see someone every day? Do you want to go out and do you want to have coffee with people? Do you mind going to B&I events? Do you mind going to networking events? Do you like that? Opposed to, are you somebody who can sit behind a computer all day and you can jump on live videos and be engaging enough? Because unfortunately, guys, some people aren't the best at doing videos. Some people don't have the personality to be doing live videos all the time and to be in front of audiences and to do that. And that's not bad. That's okay. But it's understanding your strengths and it's playing on your strengths. So choosing the service area that makes sense to you. Do you want to go local? Do you want to go nationwide? And then the other thing that I find, and I find this a lot, with financial industries that have a lot of different services, but define your core product offering. Now, what I mean by defining your core product offering is, what is it inside of all the tools that you have in Credit Suite that gets you the most excited? What is it that you can geek out on, that you can look at and just grab onto and go, man, I love this? And start defining your values, start defining your core of what you do and what you're passionate about. Because the more that you latch onto these products, the more that you latch onto what it is that you're doing and you understand the ins and outs of it, the more it's going to define your business. And then from there, define your unique value proposition. The reason this is a big one and it could be overlooked, but defining your unique value proposition is this. What is it that if you call ABC Business Credit, that's going to be any different than XYZ Business Credit? What is it that makes you so unique that somebody's going to look at it and go, that's exactly what I'm looking for? And look, guys, you all have the same products, you have the same things, but what is it that you're passionate about? So I'll give you an example. Right now, we're doing a lot of website designs and helping people build their brands. So to me, the unique value proposition of what I'm doing isn't the fact that we can build you a website. Anybody can build you a website. It's understanding your brand and building your brand and developing a system that helps you to capture leads and generate leads. Define your unique value proposition. If you like working with companies that you want to get startup financing for, or anything, you find that one thing and then you start to play on that and you start to engage people on that level. And the reason is one of my favorite little sayings: there are riches in the niches. And this is something that the longer I'm in business, the more I find this true. When you start to define what it is that you do, you will get more business and more referrals than being just a big company that, or a company that does all these different things, if you say, look, we specialize in, or you don't even have to say specialize, you say we're passionate about helping small businesses achieve new benchmarks to reach different thresholds and move to a medium business size, or expansion projects, or whatever it is that you really enjoy doing. But don't be afraid to get out there and define that. Don't be afraid to talk to people and say, look, I'm really good at this. Because the more you do that, the more people are going to connect with you. When you can tell them and you can give them a specific answer to a problem, a specific problem that they're having, you're going to reach more people, and you're going to have higher conversions, and they're going to be happier with you. So again, pick your marketplace. Where is it that you want to do business? What are the core products that you're offering? How are you going to position them? And then what's your unique value proposition? What makes you any different than any other business credit company out there? What makes you any different than dealing with any of the other companies that are out there right now? So we're going to break down the pros and cons of looking at a local market, and some quick ways to generate business inside of your local market. So here's the pros and cons of local marketing. First, the pro is face-to-face. And if you're someone like me who likes to sit behind your computer, this could be a con. But what happens is, in a face-to-face interaction, you build a deeper relationship. You connect with people in a deeper way, which in turn leads to higher conversions. And it builds a sense of trust where they're not shopping you as much. They're not looking at your rates. They're not looking at your fees of how much it costs to get their business credit in order. They're looking at the fact that they trust you, and that they can look you in the eye and they can connect with you. And with this, the cost is lower when you start getting into local marketing. You start getting into networking. You start pulling on that. So a lot of what you're going to be dealing with is you're going to be dealing with a lot of time investment, which again is one of our cons, higher demand on time. But the big thing about your local marketing, it fosters a referral relationship. When people connect with you and you start to deal with business owners, because what you're going to find is this: some of the people that I work with that I found have been great referral partners, like business insurance agents who focus on businesses. We have a lot in common. We're targeting the same market. And so we build this sense of reciprocity where I have a team and I have a network around me that I'm feeding referrals to, they're feeding referrals to me. And we're building a network that we're all intertwined and sharing these relationships. And it turns into something where you establish kind of a team that has your back and that you can start to count on. So that's one of the things I love about local marketing is really building out those referral relationships, digging deep into them, and you really it's a matter of that relationship of talking to people and connecting with them. So some of the cons of focusing on your local market. This is a big one, especially as a business owner, and I think this is the reason most people run away from local marketing. But it's a much higher demand on your time. When you're getting out in the marketplace, you're pulled a lot, and you have to sit down and excuse me for just a second. Here's a good way for me to put it. I'm the type of person that I don't like small talk. And so every time you meet somebody in a local market, it's, hey, how you doing? How you been? What's going on? How's your wife? How's your kids? How's your dog? And you've got to be good at that small talk. I'm not good at it. Hey, here's what we do. Let's get straight to the point. Let's talk business. But some people are geared towards that. So one of the cons of capturing your local market, there's a higher demand on time, because when you're sitting down face to face with somebody, questions are going to start to come more openly. They're going to start to become more honestly, and people are going to ask you questions and engage you, and you're going to have conversation back and forth of what do you do, how do you do it, and you're going to read their body language, and it just takes a little more time. The other side is more travel. You're going to be in your car. You're going to be connecting with people, going to networking events, handing out flyers, just even calling on small businesses that are around you. The other one, this is what I like to call the more dog and pony show, which is, hey, look, like before we jumped on the webinar, I told Ty, I'm like, I really like you, Ty, because I actually wore clothes to this today. So that's one of the things that the dog and pony show is. You've got to put on a presentation when you're around people, and you've got to really nail down when you're talking to them. Here's what we do, here's how we do it, here's our set process. And when you follow this process, here's the results that most of our clients get. And it's a set presentation. But when you're doing local marketing, that presentation is almost always on when you're out meeting people, and you go through the repetition and you dance the dance and you do the dog and pony show, and it turns into a presentation. But the beauty of it is you get really good at it, where it's just second nature and it becomes natural, and it's not even like you're doing it, but that's still that aspect there that people are watching you, and you have to be that in front of them. The other side of it is when you start getting into local marketing, you're going to need hard marketing assets. You're going to need a trifold brochure. You're going to need flyers. You're going to need stuff that's going to grab their attention and make them look at it and go, what is it or is this product make sense? Or, in the case of a referral relationship, you want to have flyers, you want to have trifolds that they can hand out to people that they're talking to. And the other con of local marketing is it's less predictable. You can't just look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go to this meeting and I'm going to get 4 leads today. It's a lot less predictable because you're dealing on a one-on-one basis. Your conversions are higher, but it's not as predictable of knowing that you're going to have a set number of leads coming in. So again, we're looking at the local market. So is it right to go to your local market? We'll get into that in the end. So let's talk about nationwide and online marketing. And this is where I think a lot of people are. And Ty, I know that Ty's you guys have a great system here. I mean, I've been just thoroughly impressed with the automations and the stuff you put together. So here's some of the pros of nationwide or online marketing. One is you spend less time marketing, because when you have a system there, you can automate it. You can put it on autopilot. You can let it go and almost set it and forget it, but just small daily monitoring, so it consumes less of your time. Pros, if you're really good at stuff online, you can utilize your online skill set. You can add stuff to your website. You can create a blog post on the fly. You can share on your social media accounts. You can do live streams. You can do network. The other side of it is nationwide and online marketing, I find, is much more geared to people who are sales driven. And the reason that is because the quality of the leads is not near as high, which gets into the con section. But for somebody who's very sales driven, like I have a buddy of mine in Tampa that sells business credit. He does really well with internet leads, and the reason he does is because he is a natural born salesperson, and he's got that natural charisma, that natural vibe about him that just goes, hey, here's what's going on, what are we doing? And he can connect with people, but he's really good about being able to say, turn it down and just focus on the sale at that point. And the other side of it is you can start to establish a more structured system, which again, at the end of it, creates more predictability. So those are some of the pros of the nationwide online marketing side. Some of the cons, you have a lower return on investment a lot of times. And what that means is until you really nail down your marketing, until you nail down your specific demographics and nail down the target audience that you're going after, and then the exact message that you need, you're going to spend some money, and you're going to spend money on ads that may not be doing the best. They may not be converting well. The other side of it, the other thing that is a con, and this is something I've been seeing a lot of, is a rapidly changing market. Now, I'm going to go off in a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but I think it's a good rabbit hole, and it's important for us to a rabbit trail. But what I've seen lately is I have Comcast cable. I don't have a TV. I think I've got like the basic cable package. We never watch TV. I do a lot of stuff online, so everything I do is through Netflix, is through Vudu, is through YouTube. But there has been this massive shift, and even if you watch YouTube videos, there's been this massive shift where before you would start to see, let's call them B-level production, sometimes even C-level production videos and used in YouTube ads, and you would see that, you know, they may just be sitting there with their webcam just talking to you, and that was common. It was normal. Now what's happened is these giant corporations have started noticing, hey, this is the place to go. We're getting higher returns, and the quality of the online marketing, the quality of the videos, the quality of all the stuff that's out there and that's available for people to compare to has drastically changed within the last year, where now the online marketing has gotten way more competitive, because you're not just competing with people that are in the business credit space, but you're competing with QuickBooks, you're competing with anybody that's in a business to business sales environment. And not only that, you're also competing for their family life and them as a person. And so the online marketing side has rapidly changed. And I've noticed a big change really within the last 6 to 9 months, where people are a lot more likely to opt in because they understand the sales funnel, and they understand, look, I'm just kind of mining for information right now, but they're not as committed to get in and actually see what's happening and talk to somebody. So it's understanding that, you know, with a local market, you still have a lot of the same. It's pretty much the same. I mean, business has been business since the dawn of time, of you know, looking somebody in the eye and doing a handshake. The social aspect, online marketing, is relatively new in the lifespan of all marketing and business, and it's something that's still evolving. It's still changing, and as that changes, your approach has to change. And it's a very fast moving market, and that's part of the fun of it. But it's also something to understand that you've got to have your finger on the pulse. You got to be watching what's happening, what's changing, you know, watching the quality, watching the content that's being used, and how people are being engaged and what's working. The other side of it is, when you're competing online, you're not competing against, you know, the bank down the street who offers a business loan. You're competing against everybody who offers a business loan, who's competing on the nationwide and the online marketing side. So understanding that, you've got to really defining that unique value proposition of what you do, really defining your personality and your brand plays into this, because the more competition there's got to be something about you that draws people, that says that makes them look at it and go, I like what you're saying, I like what you're offering, and they want to connect with you. But it's understanding that you have a lot more competition. So finding that unique value, finding that thing that makes you that makes you different, and not better, just different from the next person, is going to do you wonders. The other things about nationwide and online marketing, it's easier to get bad reviews because the people are less committed to you. They haven't looked you in the eye. They haven't sat down and had a drink with you or met your family or seen pictures of your kids. It's almost impersonal because it's all online and it's all done that way. And it's missing a lot of that personal connection. And lastly is lower conversions, because you get a lot of tire kickers and people opting into your sales funnels and your lead magnets, and they're getting in, but they're not converting as high because they're just interested to see what you're doing. Or sometimes they just want to steal your concept of what's happening and what's going on. So that's some of the pros and cons of nationwide and online marketing. So let's talk about tying it all together. This is where the rubber meets the road. The first thing is find your balance. As when I talk to companies that are people who are just getting started, or people who have maybe been in business for a year and are doing okay, you know, they're kind of surviving. The thing that I always want to advise people is find the balance of your business. It doesn't have to be all or nothing when you're marketing, but there's also that point of understanding that if you're going to do online marketing, find your balance of connecting with people locally as well. Find your balance of establishing those referral networks, those referral relationships that are going to send people to you and that you can send your clients to as well. But find that balance of, you know, giving and getting, and find that balance of how am I going to interact with people and how am I going to follow up with them. And the next one, and I think this is one of the most beautiful things about marketing, and this is one of the most beautiful things about the system, your system that you've developed that I love, Use marketing to enhance your relationships. Don't use marketing to define them. Use your marketing to enhance your relationships. So if you love the local marketing, you love jumping out and talking to people and engaging them and getting and meeting them face to face, use your automations to follow up with them and to put it on autopilot for you, and just go from there. When you turn your marketing into enhancing your relationships, what you're doing is you're communicating to the people that you're connecting with and saying, this is what we do. This is why we do it. Let me explain it a little further. Let me show you the power of this. Let me show you the benefit of this. Because a lot of times what's happening is there's this misconception out there. And the marketing industry has really changed with online, and a lot of the things that have come out like ClickFunnels and stuff. Right now, everybody thinks of marketing the exact same as advertising. Advertising is saying, hey, this is what we do, get in now. Marketing is communicating your products and your services in a way that provides benefit to your audience. So use your marketing, use your resources, the knowledge that you're building to enhance your relationship. Take the time to put people in your funnel, and then let the campaigns show that you're an authority, that you're the person to go to, and give it time, give it room to breathe. One of the things that I find, and I see this a lot, people are impatient when it comes to their marketing, because they think, okay, I want to get stuff in and I want to start seeing results right now. And I blame a lot of that on the marketing gurus who are out there that are advertising, hey, look, I ran an ad and I got 1,000 people to opt in. The reason that happens is because they're running an ad saying I can get you 1,000 people to opt in, and so they get 1,000 people to opt in. It's kind of it's a dirty cycle. But take your time. If you only get 1 or 2 people opting into a campaign a day, if you think about it, that's 60 people. And when the campaign's optimized right, you can look up and say, okay, I've got 60 people in there. And now if you have a 30% conversion rate on those 60 people that actually turn into appointments, you know that if you get 60 people in there, that you're going to have 20 people that you're going to talk to in a month. That's 1 a day. That's impressive. So it's understanding that your marketing isn't just about what you can go out and get and bring in, but it's also about what you can put into it, what you can put into your follow-up, and how it can build those relationships and stay in touch with people that you may have forgotten about, or that you haven't called back. But it takes that stress off of you of having to email people every day. So let your marketing do that for you. The next, determine your budget and get aggressive. Determining your budget is going to define the direction that you want to go. And the reason I say that is because if you don't have money to invest and to put towards your social media or click ads or SEO or any of that, if you get so busy worrying about the budget of what you're doing and you don't have the money there to spend on it, then it may not be the right time for you to jump into the online marketing, and going after the local market may be the best start for you. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. The next one, don't be afraid of personality in your brand. One of my favorite ads that I've seen is, and this was actually a Thai special. It was the guy in the gray suit holding a banana. And that image still just sticks out to me. And it just added a spark of personality, because when you're in the business to business space, you see a lot of stuff out there and it's always just bland. But don't be afraid of throwing some spice in there, putting some personality into your brand, having some things that define who you are, and not feeling like you have to be this perfect person, because in a business to business setting, you're a person and you're talking to a person. So I think the guys at Digital Marketer said it best, and I love what they said. They said, there's no such thing as business to business or business to consumer. It's all person to person. So put some personality in there, put who you are, define it. And the next one, and this is one of the top keys that I can tell you, the more you do this, the more people will naturally just come to you. Become a resource. Share your knowledge, share what you're learning, get out there and talk to people about it. Because here's the thing, what you're learning and what you deal with on an everyday basis and what you talk about on an everyday basis becomes mundane and boring to you. But it could be groundbreaking and revolutionary for somebody who's never heard it before. And so there's no such thing as a minor detail in your product or your service. The little things that you do, those little added touches, the having a system, having, knowing that, once you take steps 1 through 3, here's what happens. But become a resource to people, share that stuff with them. Don't be afraid of them going out and doing it on their own, because it's just like anything. Somebody could go out and try to do it on their own, but when they hit the wall, they're going to come back to the professional who gave them those resources in the first place. So don't be afraid of, oh, I'm going to lose business. No, you're going to attract people, because it's the law of reciprocity. When you give, people come back to you. And the more you can become a resource, the more you're going to become, people are going to start looking for you. And when you become a resource, it provides such a sense of trust and confidence that people look at you and go, I want to work with you. Why? Because you've given me a lot already. And here's the last one. And this is the biggest thing that I have found with all marketing, whether you're going local, whether you're going online marketing, whatever strategy you're using. Try, fail, learn. Try again, fail less, learn more, and then get to the point that you're just kicking ass and taking names. So that's really the big key for all of it, is everything that you're going to do, you're going to have ups and downs. There's going to be trials. There's going to be things that don't work right. There's going to be things that you're going to get in and find out this isn't good. And there's going to be absolute failures. My first year in business with Custom Marketer, I made some big mistakes and I failed in some areas, and I had to learn. And so I got up, I tried again, I failed less, I learned more. And it's the cycle of business. It's part of the fun of running a business, is that you get to try something, and if you fail, you can try it again. You just go about it a different way, and you don't keep repeating the same mistakes. And so that's the one thing, is try some things, figure out what's comfortable for you. As I'm talking through this stuff, if you look back and you go, I don't know if I like doing the local marketing. I don't know if I like doing the online marketing. Give it a shot. Try it. If it doesn't work, you're going to learn one of two things. One, you're going to learn what you did wrong, or two, you're going to learn that you just absolutely despise trying to market that way and trying to market your business that way, and you don't want to do it. Either way is fine, as long as you're learning something, but try it again. Find different ways, find different approaches, hire somebody to do it for you if you can. Find ways that you can stand on the shoulders of what you've done before and make it better and better each time. Because just like your products, just like your systems, marketing acts the exact same way. You try, you fail, you learn. You try again, you fail less, you learn more. And the cycle keeps going. The more that you learn and the more that you build on your past mistakes. So, I think that's it. Ty, you stayed awful quiet on me. Is there anything that you wanted to throw in on what I was talking about?
Shock. It was so awesome.
Thank you.
No, it was, I love it, man. I mean, you've hit on so many philosophies that we follow here. Like you said, the guy with the banana, that's something to stand out, but that's a reflection of our culture, right? Because we're fun and we try to make learning fun. So I think you're spot on. And what I loved best was that I think a lot of our partners have that underlying concern, although a lot don't voice it, is, hey, look, I've got other people out there selling the same product. How do I differentiate myself from them? And you really hit the nail on the head. I think what you outlined when it comes to branding is the way people have to think nowadays when it comes to doing business, which is you have to make people want to do business with you. If they want to do business with you, there is no competition. I mean, there's not even a sales process. They just you have to screw it up royally to lose the deal at that point. Because they're not coming to you to buy a product or service. They're coming to you because they know, they like, they trust you, and they want to do business with you. And even somebody else that rolls up with the exact same product, they don't know, like, and trust that person. So you always have that huge advantage. So you did it, man. It's like you got, I know you work closely with the guys on our team, but this is all you, and this is completely reflective of our philosophy too. So you killed it, man. I love it.
Good.
So, And I really appreciate you coming in and bringing us much value. What I want to dive into now is that, as you and I talked about, there's a couple different paths forward, I think, for our clients here. A lot of our partners are in kind of one of two boats. Either they kind of know a little bit of how to market. They may even run Facebook ads, and Google ads, and other things, but they just don't know how to market business credit. And those are kind of a category of people that say, look, I want to do it. I like to do it. I know how to do it. I just don't know the messaging and the right path forward for this product and service. And they maybe want to work with someone like you that can help them do it. And then there's another group of clients that is like, what's marketing? How do you spell that? Right. They just don't know. And I get it. When I owned my credit repair business, man, we didn't have a lot of money to spend on marketing and advertising. So, as we got into Credit Suite, this was all completely foreign to me. And it cost a tremendous amount of money to figure out things on our own dime. Well, there's a lot of people that don't have that money to waste. They want to use it where it's best suited to get the best results. They don't want to learn to market. They don't want to learn Facebook ads. They don't want to learn Google. They would rather just have somebody help them through the process. So, as you know, we've talked for months over this. That's why I wanted to bring you in, because you know the product better than almost any partner that's ever worked with us, because you're one of the first ones that enrolled, followed us the whole time. You and I are good friends. You tapped into our marketing team, so you know what works with us. We've seen you succeed with business credit and credit repair, which is almost impossible to market, and yet you do it easily every day. So talk to me about a path forward for everybody here where they could talk to you about one of those two options, where they do it for you, do it for them, or you help them do it. Investment options, any of that kind of detail you want to get into. I know everybody's going to want to hear that part. And for all of these that are not interested in either of the two, you just got a ton of free value, which is phenomenal. You can use it, apply it, and do great things. But I at least want Keith you to go over a couple options there, so people know that they have those options as well.
Okay, so a couple of the things that we do is we do have a Facebook group. Believe it or not, it's called custommarketer.com, and you can find it on Facebook. That's pretty obvious. So,
I find all my Facebook groups there, by the way.
It's kind of it's the name describes it. What we do in there is we talk about some of the strategies. We're getting ready to start doing some series on how to run ads, because here's the thing: if you want to learn how to do it, it's not that it's hard to do. It's not that it's hard at all. It's just it takes patience. It takes understanding. So in the group, we're actually going to be sharing with people. Here's how you get in. Here's how you run some Facebook ads, and then from there, people who are interested in having someone do it. What we've done is we do a lot of hands-on with clients, but there are certain aspects of some of the things that we do that we have preferred partners that we work with that step in and do a lot of the back end work. So a lot of the campaigns, a lot of the social media campaigns, the click ads, the SEO work, a lot of that's going to depend on what exactly it is that you want. And it's just like anything, it's hard to say, oh, it's simple, it's one low price. No, it depends on, but I can tell you this, that everything that we do is geared towards a good return on investment, because the way that I look at it is if somebody can come in and they can get a consistent return ROI every single month, and they can look up and go, okay, I invested $1,000 or I invested $500 and I got $5,000 back, that's predictable and that makes sense. And that's really what we look at, is sit down and figure out what's your budget. And again, the things that we talked about, that's all that we're going to take into consideration. What's your brand? What's your unique value proposition? Okay, are you marketing locally? Yes, I am. Then let's start looking at local click ads, and let's look at local search engine optimization, and let's set up retargeting ads for the people that you're running. So there's a lot of different contingencies and a lot of different directions with that. It depends on the company. And again, that's why I go with the name custom marketer, because everybody has a custom need, and that's really what we focus on, is trying to understand what it is that you need, what's What's the most important to you, and how can we position you in a way that you're consistently making money? And not only that, that you've got resources. So, one of the big things that we're doing right now is we call it our freelance time, where we have our what we call our growth plans, where we go on and we help manage your online presence. We'll work with CRMs, your website, helping to make sure everything's up to date, make sure it's all solid, and that's cool. And that's kind of the geeky side of what I like to do. But the powerful part of it is we actually give freelance time of saying, okay, you know what, for $97 a month, we're going to give you 20 minutes or 2 hours a month. We're going to give you 30 minutes a week. And if you want us to run an ad for you during that time, if you want us to post on Facebook, or, if there's flyers or anything like that. So we really set up a lot of flexibility inside of that, where we can be there to help watch, to manage all the things that are going on. And the reason is because, Ty, you know this, and most people don't. Most businesses don't look this far into the future, but what happens is, as the company grows, it may start with a small Facebook ad that, look, I got $150, I got $200 a month I can put towards an ad budget. So you put that towards an ad budget, and you start running it, and you start getting some conversions. Then it turns into retargeting ads. And then it turns into, okay, we have automation for this. And then it turns into, now we want to have click ads that are anytime that pixels are firing, are following people across the internet. And then we want to have click ads for specific search terms. And then, and it builds out, and it grows and it grows and grows. And what we do is we take time every single week and look over what's all the stats doing, how's our conversions looking, and help identify. So for the do-it-yourselfer who looks at it and goes, look, I love doing the ads, I get it, but I need some advice, I need some hands held. That's where that freelance time would come in great for somebody to go, hey, here's what your campaign's doing, here's what your ads look like, here's some advice if you want to tweak it, here's some content, here's some things to work on. So that's the direction we go. But everything that we do, Ty, is very customized to the individual needs of the actual company, instead of it being something where we just have one program that we shove everybody into.
Yeah, and I think there's a bunch of things you said that make sense. A couple things. First of all, we're going to create a link on our website, creditsuite.com/custom-marketer. It's not there yet. Keith is going to put a special intake form for all of you there to come, so he can get some information, do an evaluation, know you're coming in for business credit marketing services, or maybe you're marketing your other product. Maybe you're in credit repair. Maybe you're an attorney. Maybe you're an accountant listening, and he can help you in all those areas as well. He's just got a lot of experience in the credit lead generating areas, as well as he's working with all different kind of industries now all over the world. So he's going to create a page at creditsuite.com/custom-marketer that will be available by the end of the week. So those of you watching the replay can go to get that probably the minute you watch this. And the rest of you, a few days, will have that set up. It doesn't matter to me whether you go to custommarketer.com or creditsuite.com/custom-marketer. The only reason I give you that other link is that he's going to have a set path for us, knowing what you're coming in for, so to help him have a better understanding. The Facebook group, again, is Custom Marketer. If you type in Custom Marketer in the search and type groups, you'll pull it up. There's a ton of good stuff. Keith goes live on here with all kinds of lessons. There's all kinds of posts. And you'll also get to see his poop emoji coffee cup, which you can't miss that. Everybody's missing that. Right?
Right, absolutely.
If you go down to videos on Custom Marketer group page, you'll see probably the second video you'll see is his poop emoji cup, to give you an idea of his brand and his style, because he's so fun. Thirdly, I just got back from San Diego. I was at Traffic and Conversion. I was at Social Media Marketing World. And between those two conferences, I probably saw between 100 and 200 vendors. And a lot of these vendors offer marketing services, whether it be YouTube, Google, Facebook. None of them do what you're saying here. No, at least that I saw. And I looked at every single one of their booths. They all have set plans, and usually they're looking for people spending $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a month or more. There are people that won't even talk to you unless your spend with them is $20,000 a month or more. So what's nice about Keith is that he works with you the way that we got started. We got started with a small budget, and we fine-tuned it. And then as we got results, we spent more, and we spent more, and we spent more, and we spent more, to get to the point where we're at our budget now. And we're trying to triple our budget over the course of the next matter of months, because now we've really dialed in what works. that's exactly what Keith is talking to you about, is ultimately, like he said, we are national. And a lot of you probably are going to focus on local. So there's a difference between local strategy and national strategy. There's a difference between wanting to spend $1,000 a month on Facebook or spend $10,000 a month or $100 a month or $500 a month, whatever it may be. So I like the fact, Keith, that that custom marketer really, it makes sense now, because you're customizing everything per the actual individual, instead of forcing them into these groups and saying, I'll only deal with you if you're willing to have these gigantic spends, which a lot of the pros out there, as you know, have that requirement.
Right. And I mean, honestly, Ty, I don't like doing it. That's not who I am as a person. I love helping up and comers, people that are really learning how to get things in order, because those are the people that it's a long-term relationship. And as those companies grow, we all grow together. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why we do it, is because we're passionate about that.
Yeah. And guys, just so you know, I mean, Keith has tons of experience. Personally, more experience than anybody I've ever met for generating leads in the credit space. I've never run across somebody that has more experience than he does. And he's close with our team as well. Alex on our marketing team, who's a good friend of mine, is also a good friend of Keith's as well. You guys live like 30 minutes from each other. They're getting together for coffee, and they're discussing strategy and all types of things. So this gives you almost an inside track to our marketing team as well, because if for any reason, which I've yet to ever see it happen, if Keith ever gets stuck, if Keith ever runs into something that's not performing as well, he's one call, one Slack message away from our team that's helping him about what we're doing, so he can take it and carry it over. But realistically, what's happening is we're feeding off each other. What he's doing, we're learning from. What we're doing, he's learning from. And this cross path of communication has helped us grow faster. And then it helps his clients grow faster too, because we're a communal group that's learning from each other. Keith is the only outside person at all in our group that works closely with our team. And it's only because he's built his own relationship with Alex. Him and Alex have become good friends, as him and I have become good friends, and they just discuss that strategy organically. But it's a really huge benefit you get, because by working with them, you're basically working with our own marketing team. And guys, that was my goal. Is that when I first brought Jen, our marketing manager, on, so many people started asking how they could work with Jen. And I knew we had a problem, because we had him tapped out. There's no way he could handle more. But it made a lot of sense for you to work with an inside person on our team. But our team gets so busy so quick, they don't have that time. So working with Keith and discussing, hey, look, here's a strategy. We almost want them to work with our marketing team, but we don't have time. You work closely with our marketing team. What can we figure out where you can help all of our clients market and go out and get the leads, while then the rest of our team focuses on the automation, the marketing, and those type of things. And guys, even though he hasn't talked about it, he could build websites that are well beyond the WordPress website that we give you, and entire marketing funnels. So I tell you this because I say to a lot of people, our website is good. It's a great place to start. But when you really start making money, you are going to want to spend and move up to a nicer website. He handles all that. He handles the funnels. He handles email campaigns. He handles websites, all these type of things as well. So as your business grows, he can help you in all of those areas. He's just not mentioned it because he knows that we have that part covered. But I want to let you know he's very good in all of those other areas as well.
Well, thank you.
So I know, guys, look, it's a little bit different of a situation. Usually I bring somebody in, and which is rarely, as y'all know, and I'm like, you got to promote tons of free content. And then, I don't want any kind of pitch. This is the opposite for me. Keith came in and gave a bunch of free content, which I didn't want him to do. I just want him to pitch. And so now I got pitch for him because honestly, this is all something I've orchestrated over the last year, where I've realized that if we could automate your back end, if we could put your sales funnel together and trigger leads automatically from your sales funnel, create all the automation that we have, that's about 40% of the battle. But if we could get leads for you, then it's 100% of the battle. If we can get the leads for you, get them into an organized funnel we've tested and proven it works, and then convert leads from that through webinars, which is what we do, into your sales team, that it really gives you the full spectrum from getting a lead all the way almost to closing, which is what your sales team will be left to do. And this completes that. So Keith, I appreciate you working with us with customizing stuff for our clients, with being so open to work with them. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on and spending the hour with me today as well.
Yeah, I appreciate the time too, Ty, and I look forward to meeting everybody out there and seeing how I could help.
A few things to do, guys. You can go right now to custommarketer.com and you can get Keith's information there. You can go to Facebook, type in Custom Marketer, look at the group, which I'm in right now, to find Keith's poop emoji cup, which everybody has to see. Follow the group. They'll ask you some questions. They'll let you in. Get a ton of free info, message them, communicate with them through there. Or again, later this week, if you go to creditsuite.com/custom-marketer, there's just going to be a simple intake process for you not to pay anything, but for you to get with Keith and his team so he can find out more about what you're trying to do, what scale you want to be at. Do you want local? Do you want national? You want to spend $100 a month, 10,000, 20,000 a month, whatever you need to do, what your goals are, how many leads you want. Keith also mentioned that he's partnered and has some other really cool relationships as part of this process. So for example, a mutual friend of ours, somebody that him and I've known for a long time, also then does the lead generating part of it, guys. So, when the leads are generated, then they can even go to them, and then their phone service, their call floor, calls the lead and generates the lead for your sales team to close. Mm-hmm. So and that's just one. There's a lot of these sub relationships he has that can help you through every aspect of the funnel. So then that way you can come in and, for example, if you're getting the cold leads and you don't have a sales floor to work the cold leads, well, then they'll work the cold leads. They'll convert them and only send you the warm leads. So if you're a one-man show or have a very limited sales team, that could save you time. There's a lot of those sub-relationships that he has that he can help you with there as well.
Right. And the thing that we do with all that, Ty, is we actually focus on managing that relationship for you and watching to make sure that it's done right, that it's accountable, so that it's not something where you don't know what's going on and you don't know if you're being told right or wrong. We know what we're doing, and there's some things that some people are better at in different areas, and so we let them be pros at that.
So perfect. So questions. You guys have questions? I know this isn't a big question-oriented group, but as we wrap up, I'm going to open it up to questions. I don't see any questions so far. But again, guys, just so you know, Keith and I haven't worked out any kind of specific deal where we're getting paid off services that you're paying for. I'm not saying that's never going to happen. I mean, we'll be an affiliate of his, so maybe we'll get a kickback, maybe we won't. But that's not my priority, and that's not why Keith and I have even had a discussion nailing down how much we're going to get paid if you guys. It's not about that. I just need you to be working with somebody that, one, I know and trust, that I know can get the job done, because I've worked with and seen so many people out there that just say they can do things they can't do. And it was a freaking nightmare for me to hire people on our marketing team that I knew what they do. I mean, I put Jen through a 6-month interview process because I had so many people come before him that said they could do things they can't do. I can't have you do that. I can't refer you to somebody that fails and then it looks bad on us. So I need it to be somebody that I know and trust that I recommend. And I also got the benefit here of somebody that actually knows our product better than almost anybody you'll talk to, because he's been a partner so long. And he also happens to specialize in generating leads, where he's generated who knows how many leads for our industry, for our customers. So it's kind of the trifecta. It's somebody I know and trust. It's somebody that's got experience with generating consumer and business credit leads. And it's also somebody that knows exactly what he's doing along the way. So all of those things are things that I think are going to work really well. So I don't have any other questions, Keith. Anything you want to throw in before we wrap up?
No, I think you covered all of it.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to wrap up, everybody. Again, a few things to do. Go to Facebook, Custom Marketer. You can type it into the chat. It should pull up right away. If not, you can narrow down the search on Facebook to groups. Go to custommarketer.com. Later this week, creditsuite.com/custom-marketer will be available with an intake there as well. Just get with Keith. It costs you no money for the consultation, just to sit with him and say, hey, look, what can you do for me? Here's my goals. Just when you sit with him, know what your goals are. How much you want to spend on marketing and advertising? What kind of customers are you trying to get? Do you have a sales team to work them? Do you need somebody to work the leads? Just have some of those specifics. He's going to talk to you through that discussion and then come to you with a custom plan, and you can decide if it works for you or not. Or just talk to him if for some reason you think it won't. Keith's one of the easiest, most laid back guys to talk to. So as long as you communicate with him what your wants and needs are, and then you'll have a great success. It's just a matter of keeping the communication open with you guys. Okay, Alan says fantastic. George says thanks. Thanks to both you guys. We're going to wrap up. CustomMarketer.com, Custom Marketer in Facebook groups, or CreditSuite.com later today /Custom Marketer will get you to Keith. I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. You will see this webinar probably again, because I'm going to start promoting this, because this is the last piece of the puzzle for us. Somebody highly knowledgeable and equipped to get you the leads. So anything we can do to help you along the way, make sure you reach out to us and let us know as well. So thanks, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. Everybody have a great day. And Keith, thanks again, man, for taking the time to come in. It means so much.
All right. Thanks, Ty. I appreciate it.